Imagine waking up every single morning and having to tell the person you love most in this world that their mother has died. Imagine having to do that day after day, watching their heart break over and over again, knowing that tomorrow you'll have to do it all over again. This is a reality that Jay Leno, the man who made millions of us laugh every night on Tonight Show, is living through right now. And what he's been dealing with behind the scenes will absolutely break your heart. For 4 to 5 years, Jay and Mavis Leno built a life together that seemed almost perfect from the outside. While Jay was making America laugh with his jokes and his famous chin, Mavis was out there changing the world in her own way. She fought for women's rights in Afghanistan, standing up against the Taliban when it was dangerous to do so. She was so amazing at what she did that she was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize back in 2002. Think about that for a second. While her husband was hosting one of the biggest shows on television, she was literally trying to save lives halfway around the world. But life is a way of turning everything upside down when you least expect it. And for the Lenos, that moment came when Mavis started showing signs that something wasn't right. At first, maybe it was small things. Maybe she forgot where she put her keys, or couldn't remember what she had for breakfast. We all have moments like that, right? But for Mavis, these moments started happening more and more often. And they weren't just little slip-ups anymore. In January of 2024, the world learned the truth. Mavis Leno had been diagnosed with advanced dementia. For those who might not know exactly what that means, dementia is a disease that affects the brain. It makes it harder and harder for people to remember things, to think clearly, and to do the everyday things they used to do without even thinking about it. It's like watching someone you love slowly disappear, even though they're standing right in front of you. Jay had to do something that must have been incredibly difficult. He had to go to court and ask to become the conservator of Mavis's estate. That's a legal term that basically means he needed the court's permission to take care of her money and make important decisions for her, because she couldn't do it herself anymore. By April of 2024, the court agreed. A lawyer who was appointed to check on Mavis confirmed what Jay already knew. His wife, the woman who had been so strong and independent her whole life, was now showing serious signs that her mind wasn't working the way it used to. Now, Jay Leno is 75 years old, and Mavis is 79. They've been together since they were young, building a life filled with love, laughter, and shared dreams. Jay always loved his cars. If you've ever seen his show Jay Leno's Garage, you know he has over 200 cars in his collection. These aren't just any cars. They are special, rare, and each one has a story. His garage was his happy place, where he could tinker with engines and talk about horsepower for hours. But these days, that garage has become something else. It's become a place where Jay opens up about the hardest thing he's ever had to do. Taking care of the woman he loves as she battles a disease that's stealing her memories, her independence, and slowly, piece by piece, the life they built together. In a recent interview that just aired, Jay sat down and talked openly about what life is like now, and what he said will hit you right in the heart. He talked about the mornings, which he said are probably the toughest part of his day. Every single morning, Mavis wakes up and she's confused. She believes that someone called the day before to tell her that her mother had passed away. Now, her mother has been gone for a long time, but in Mavis's mind, it feels fresh and new and devastating, like it just happened yesterday. Can you imagine what that must be like for Jay? To watch the woman you love wake up and immediately feel that pain of loss, that grief, over and over again, and he has to be the one to help her through it. He called it really tricky. That's Jay being Jay, trying to keep things light even when they're unbearably heavy. But you can hear the weight in his voice when he talks about it. Mavis used to love traveling. She was the kind of person who wanted to see the world, experience new places, meet new people. But now, she can't do that anymore. Jay admits that it makes him sad. He wishes he could take her out to restaurants like they used to. He wishes they could hop on a plane and go somewhere exciting together. But dementia has taken that away from them. So instead, they found a new way to travel. They watch YouTube videos together. Travel shows, animal documentaries, anything that can take Mavis's mind somewhere beautiful, even if her body has to stay home. Sometimes, Jay will get someone to help, and they'll take Mavis out for a drive. They'll cruise around, looking at the world through the car window. She likes that, he says. And you can tell from the way he talks that making her happy, even in these small ways, means everything to him. One of the hardest things about dementia is watching someone lose their ability to communicate. Jay says that sometimes Mavis will say things that don't quite make sense. The words come out wrong, or they are jumbled up, or they don't connect to what they were talking about. She needs constant reassurance now. She needs to be told that everything is okay, that she's safe, that the people around her love her. And through it all, Jay is right there. He's become her full-time caregiver. The man who used to stand on a stage in front of millions of people, making them laugh until their sides hurt, now spends his days making sure his wife is comfortable, happy, and cared for. And here's the thing that might surprise you. He says he actually enjoys it. That might seem strange to some people. Being a caregiver for someone with dementia is exhausting. It's emotionally draining. It can break even the strongest people. But Jay sees it differently. He says that Mavis really needs him now, and he likes that. He can see that she appreciates what he's doing for her, and that makes it all worth it. He even tries to keep things fun. When he has to carry her to the bathroom, which must be hard for both of them, he makes a joke out of it. He calls it Jay and Mavis at the prom in high school. Can you picture that? This 75-year-old man, carrying his wife, pretending they're teenagers at a dance. And you know what? She thinks it's funny. She smiles. And in those moments, even though everything else is falling apart, they are still Jay and Mavis. They are still the couple who fell in love all those years ago. Jay talks about their wedding vows a lot now. You know the ones. For better or for worse, in sickness and in health, till death do us part. Most people say those words without really thinking they'll ever have to test them. Nobody gets married thinking about the worst-case scenario. Nobody stands at the altar imagining the day when their partner won't remember their name. But Jay says that even though they're living in the worst part of those vows right now, it's not really that bad. He's grateful he's able to take care of her. He feels lucky. Lucky, that's the word he uses. This man, who has suffered through some pretty serious health problems of his own in recent years, calls himself lucky. In 2022, he was working on one of his cars when it caught fire. He suffered third-degree burns on his face. He had to spend over a week in the hospital, getting treatment in a special chamber to help his skin heal. Then, just a few months later, he was in a motorcycle accident. He broke bones, hurt his collarbone, injured his ribs and kneecaps. And then, just last year, he fell down a 60-foot hill outside a hotel in Pittsburgh. He broke his wrist, got a massive bruise on his face, and had to wear an eye patch for a while. Any one of those things would have knocked most people down for good. But not Jay. He keeps going. And when people ask him about it, he doesn't complain. He doesn't play the victim. Instead, he talks about how he's lucky. He's lucky because Mavis doesn't have cancer. She doesn't have a tumor. It's dementia, and while it's awful and heartbreaking, he's grateful it's not something worse. That's the kind of person Jay Leno is. Right now, Mavis still recognizes him. That's something Jay is very aware of, because he knows it might not last. Dementia is unpredictable like that. Some people forget their loved ones early on. Others hold on to those memories for a long time. Jay understands what's happening to his wife. He doesn't blame her when she's confused or forgetful or when things don't make sense. He knows it's a disease, not her. He says she seems comfortable now. She seems happy and content, even though her world has gotten so much smaller. And honestly, that's all any of us can hope for when we're facing something like this. We want the people we love to feel safe, to feel cared for, to feel loved. And Jay is making sure Mavis is all of that. People might wonder why Jay is sharing all of this now. Why talk about something so private, so painful? But there's something powerful about his honesty. There are millions of people around the world who are going through the exact same thing. They are taking care of parents, spouses, siblings, or friends who have dementia or Alzheimer's or other diseases that steal memories and change lives forever. And a lot of those people feel alone. They feel like nobody understands what they're going through. They feel exhausted and sad and scared about what comes next. When someone like Jay Leno talks openly about his experience, it helps. It reminds people that they are not alone. It shows that even someone who seems to have it all together, someone famous and successful and talented, is dealing with the same heartbreak and challenges. It makes it okay to struggle. It makes it okay to be sad while also finding moments of joy. It makes it okay to laugh even when you feel like crying. Jay and Mavis's story is also a reminder of what real love looks like. It's not always about the big romantic gestures or the perfect Instagram posts. Real love is showing up day after day, even when things are hard. It's making jokes in the bathroom to keep your wife smiling. It's watching travel videos together when you can't travel anymore. It's waking up every morning knowing you'll have to break your wife's heart with the news about her mother, and doing it anyway, as gently as you can, because that's what she needs from you. The Lenos don't have children. It's always been just the two of them. Some people might think that makes it harder, that having kids to help share the burden would make things easier. But maybe, in a way, it's also made their bond even stronger. They spent 4 to 5 years as each other's person, each other's best friend, each other's whole world. And now, when Mavis needs someone more than ever, Jay is there. Not because he has to be, not because there's nobody else, but because he wants to be. There's something Jay said in his interview that really stands out. He said that Mavis was always so independent before. She was a fierce activist, a woman who spoke truth to power and wasn't afraid of anyone. She traveled to dangerous places to help people who couldn't help themselves. She was nominated for the Nobel Peace Prize for crying out loud. This was a woman who could do anything she set her mind to. And now, she needs help with everything. But Jay doesn't see that as a burden. He sees it as a gift. She needs him now, and he likes that. He can tell she appreciates it. And when she tells him she loves him, when he sees that smile on her face, it makes everything worth it. That's what love is supposed to be. It's not about the easy times. It's about being there when things fall apart. Of course, this story isn't over yet. Dementia is a progressive disease, which means it gets worse over time. There will probably come a day when Mavis doesn't recognize Jay anymore. There might come a day when she can't speak, or when she needs even more care than she does now. Those days are coming, and Jay knows it, but is not dwelling on that. His focus on right now, on making today as good as it can be, on finding joy in the little moments. Mavis's appetite has come back, which Jay mentioned as a good thing. They can't go out to restaurants, but that's okay. They find other ways to enjoy meals together. They watch their shows. They go for drives. They make each other laugh when they can. And at the end of the day, they are still together. After everything life has thrown at them, both individually and as a couple, they are still Jay and Mavis. This story is a tough one to hear. There's no happy ending coming, at least not in the traditional sense. Dementia doesn't get better. It doesn't go away. But there's something beautiful here, too. It's the story of a man who loves his wife so much that he sees caring for her as a privilege, not a chore. It's the story of a couple who took their wedding vows seriously, who meant it when they said for better or for worse. And it's a reminder to all of us about what really matters in life. Fame, money, cars, awards. None of that stuff means anything when you're facing something like this. What matters is love. What matters is showing up. What matters is being there for the people who need you, even when it's hard, especially when it's hard. So while the headline might say Jay Leno is saying goodbye, maybe that's not quite right. He's not saying goodbye. Not yet. He's holding on. He's fighting for every good day, every smile, every moment of recognition. He's making sure that however much time they have left together, it's filled with as much love and laughter and joy as possible. And maybe that's the lesson here. Life is going to throw terrible things at us. We're all going to face loss and pain in situations that seem impossible to handle. But we get to choose how we respond. We can give up, or we can show up. We can focus on what we've lost, or we can be grateful for what we still have. We can face the hard days with bitterness, or we can face them with love. Jay Leno is choosing love. Every single day. He's choosing to be there for Mavis, to make her laugh, to keep her comfortable, to let her know she's not alone. And in doing that, he's showing the rest of us what it really means to be a partner, to be a caregiver, and to be human. If this story touched your heart, please hit that like button. Share this video with someone who might need to hear it, whether they are going through something similar or they just need a reminder about what real love looks like. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, because we're here to bring you stories that matter, stories about real people facing real challenges, and finding hope and strength even in the darkest times. Thank you so much for watching, and remember, we're all in this together.